Hello, welcome. So we have UTS Law and Criminology Department today. So we have Vivek Sokhal, the Manager Partner Service, South Asia and Southeast Asia. And also we have Grace Lee. She's the Associate Dean International. So both of them will share the details about the law faculty and about the program and all those things. Hi, Grace, over to you.
Thank you very much, Indy. I'll just start with sharing my screen. Can you all see my screen right now? I hope you can. Anyway, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Grace Lee. I am from University of Technology, Sydney, Law Faculty. It's a great pleasure meeting you all online. This is not something that I do often. I get to meet students and parents and so forth and agencies very often in person and through Zoom meeting, etc. But this is really my first live session on Facebook. I don't know how it goes, but I'm willing to give it a try. So I was told that the session for today should be focusing on legal career. There has been a lot of misunderstanding in the market about studying law in Australia. I'm actually very pleased to be able to spend the next 20 minutes with you, talking to you about what the reality would be. So let me start from, I only have 3 or 4 slices. So let me start with this slide. As you can see, dots moving in and out, flashing in and out, together with all these words. I'm pretty sure for whoever sitting in front of your screen and listening and watching me talking about all this, the terms appeared on the screen wouldn't be something that you've never heard of. Law and information technology, IT, AI, coding, innovation, robotic, legal future, all these words has been used so often in media, in university, in your daily life. What is this? People even start to talk about the AI will be replacing human lawyers in, I don't know, next 10 years time or 20 years time. Is this true? Are these things going to happen as what they expected? This is the reason why I'm here. With the ChatGPT not long ago, generative AI has, triggered another big wave about what a machine can do and what a machine can do better than human like you and I. What does this mean? What does all this bring to us as someone who is in the higher education? What does this bring to the student who are looking at extending their knowledge in a particular field? Would that study field be affected by machine, by ChatGPT, by AI, by robotics? This is a very question that I'm here today trying to share with what I know of. Where shall I start? I think I should start back in 2018, actually 2016. Around 2015 and 2016, that's when people started to talk about what are the real impact of technology putting on legal profession. That's where, most of the discussion started. People start to talk about the likelihood that human lawyers will be replaced at that time. I worked at the university, UTS, for many, many years, for 23 years. This is my 23 years. I see myself coming from a traditional legal background. I have done my Bachelor of Laws, Master of Laws, and I did my PhD in law. Then I practiced as a lawyer, and then I joined the academy. So I personally came from a very traditional legal training background. At that time, when people started talking about technology and its impact, I didn't have much understanding of technology. Because when I grew up, there is no technology apart from radio and black and white television. There is nothing else. So I didn't really understand technology and how it will impact upon our life. I was not the only one who didn't understand technology. Everybody of similar age of me, or even younger or slightly older than me, it's a generation thing. The generation who was facing a big challenge. And the generation are the generations who are in the key position. They are the judges in the courts. They are the lawyers representing clients. They are the people, they are the CEOs in the company. They are the president in the USA and the president in Australia. So those people, they all at the critical age where they did not grow up with technology. So there was a big question mark because those people are the people who are making decisions back in 2015 and 2016. So there was a big mark. What should we do? Where is the career for current student? Nobody knows the answer at that time, but we reached out as UTS, as University Technology Sydney Law Faculty. We reached out for a round of 2 years. We hold numerous discussions on where the future will lie. Law and technology, where are we moving in? We invited judges, we invited people from commercial companies, we invited people from stock exchange, we invited lawyers, we invited policymakers, we invited people from technology industry, we invited a range of people who will have a say and who will be able to tell us where the future would be. So we spent the entire 2 years between 2016 and 2018 just asking one question: where is the future of law? Guess what? At the end of 2018, after all the time and effort we put in trying to find out what is going on, there was no clear answer to that question. In another word, nobody, not even one person, not even any industry can tell you where the future lies, what the future will be. It is still very much so a question mark until today. But lucky enough, in the process of doing all these inquiries, we became very clear on one thing, which is nobody knows the future, but we know how we can train our students to be confident to negotiate their own future. What do I mean by this? So in the whole practice of asking where the future will move towards to, what the future will be like, will AI replace human lawyers and so forth, we ask a range of questions to a range of people. We didn't get what we wanted to hear, but we've got a solid response from everybody that they believe for a generation of university students, these are the things I'm going to show you on my next slides. These are the things that will guarantee that student will be able to negotiate their future, will be able to find a job in the area. Look at all this. Isn't it interesting? There's nothing about the knowledge of law, nothing about the black letter legislation or whatever case law or anything. So the knowledge part is not here. What does this mean? This means as a student, getting to know the knowledge is no longer important. Why it's not important? Because we've got ChatGPT today. And we had Google for a long time. How much you can remember? Can you remember more than Google? Do you know more than Google? That's not possible. So knowledge is no longer part of the expectation that we have to our own student, because that won't be helpful for their future, for what they're going to do. Instead, all these things on these slides are more important to make sure they are able to find a job after they graduate. After 2018, the law faculty made a lot of changes just to address the new way of training our students to fit for future career. As a result of that, I'll just give you a very quick example. We got rid of all the closed book exam in the law faculty. We no longer run any closed book exam for the very reason that we do not believe that memorizing knowledge is important. It is not. Memorizing knowledge is not important, and it's never going to be important anymore. Why? Again, because we have internet, we have Google, we have ChatGPT, we have this and that. So along with a long line of changes that we've made in UTS Law School, the purpose of training students is to make sure our student would be able to have a career in law. Whatever the changes that will be facing the industry as a whole, the interaction with the technology, whatever changes, the junior job is going to disappear, whatever changes, we're making sure our student would be able to have the soft skill that can enable them to negotiate the future. So if you are still here listening to what I'm talking about, I think you would have an idea or two, which is to study in Australia or probably in the area of law and the criminology. What I would like to recommend you to do is for you to check something called the Graduate Outcome Survey. This is a survey conducted by the Australian government on yearly basis. This survey studied a range of issues about the discipline and its graduate. If you would have time to read through it, it's a very long document. Honestly, for international students, in my opinion, there are two most important questions that you like to know. You wanted to know. You wanted to make sure. The first question is, can I find a job after I complete my study with UTS Law Faculty? The second question is, how much money I'm looking at. I don't have that slide with me, but you can check because it's updated every year. Last year, for example, in 2022, UTS Law Faculty, 84% of our students find a full-time employment within 4 months of their graduation. That is more than 4 students out of 5. It's a very high percentage. In terms of second question, how much money they're making, the average salary is 87,000 Australian dollars per year. Again, that is a rather high starting salary. But putting all this aside, law is always going to be an industry which is traditionally seen as difficult, but prestigious. Prestigious meaning both reputation, social status, as well as income. So this is something that you need to consider. It is not the easiest degree that you would be able to get. But again, this is all about investment. Investment is not only in how much money that you're putting into your study. It also includes how much time, how much effort that you're putting into your study. So of course, higher investment. and higher return. This is it. Studying law is that investment. So making sure you understand what product that you are buying, what you're setting up yourself with, and what you will be expecting to get out of it. To help our student to get a decent career in law after graduate, in the law faculty, we have done quite a lot. We have internship program, which is a subject, and we guarantee if international students apply for the internship program, they get in. There are quotas for domestic Australian students, but we don't have quotas for international students. Our internship partners, it's international. We have international internship partners. We have Australian internship partners. If you're interested in doing internship in Australia, in Sydney, we have partners like Redfern Legal Centre, which is a pro bono legal aid style service. We have Toyota Australia in-house counsel. We have a range of people that you can choose to do an internship in Sydney. If you are fancying doing an internship internationally, we have a range of locations and a range of partners that you can choose from. For international internship, we send students overseas for 4 weeks in total, and they will be working with our internship partner, and they will bring back this experience as one subject, as one of their elective subjects in their curriculum. So by doing internship, we're trying all we might to help our student. Of course, internship is not the only thing that we do here. We have career services. We have a dedicated person, going through your resume, even, doing a trial interview, mock interview. And, if you can even borrow a business outfit for you to go for the interview if you don't have one already for yourself. So we've gone way beyond what we could think of just to help our student, because I know how difficult to have a career which is outside of your home country. But speaking on that, if you do not plan to stay in Australia after you graduate from your UTS degree, by the way, there are opportunities for working visa straight after your degree, and there will be potential to apply for permanent residency down the line with law degree. But if that's not what you're planning to do, you're wanting to come back to India, not a problem, because with internationalized business, which is the driver of the legal industry, you will easily find, when you come back to India, you will easily find people who are working in the top tier international law firm. Those are the people who not only trained in law in India, they always have legal training outside of India. Tell me, if you're in one of the major cities in India, if you're in
Sorry, Grace, sorry to interrupt. I think it's Sri Lanka. So it is Sri Lanka is part of Commonwealth, so it's a similar
part of
thing.
The Commonwealth as well. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I got it mixed up. So if you are, tell me, in the major city in Sri Lanka, I'm sure you see international investment. I'm sure you see multinational companies, right? So who are there to provide legal services to those companies? Same thing here. You're Sri Lankan, you come to Australia, you're in Sydney, and we see so many business, so many investment from Sri Lanka. Who are there? Who are able to provide services, legal services, with the knowledge, with the understanding of both law and the culture in these two countries? We don't have many people like this. As you know, law is not the easiest subject to study. So, we really need people people who have multiple languages with different cultural background is really a key, is highly in demand profession that is currently in the legal industry. Very sadly, not everybody understands. Sri Lankan, very similar legal system with Australia. There are various ways that you can choose to do your legal degree. You can choose to do your law degree. If you already have a law degree, we'll be very happy to look at your law degree and give you credit recognition. We will be able to advise you on how you can get your law degree to be assessed by the accreditation authority. In here, it's called LPAB. So we'll just waive all the subjects that you do not need to study. Very often, I see Sri Lankan student only studying 4 or 5 subjects, plus another practical learning element. Student will be able to apply for the license, for the practical license. In Australia, we call this legal admission. So it's an application. There is no bar exam needed for this purpose. And once you get your practical admission, then you will be ready to practice law. Then you will be ready to, plan the rest of your career. Either you would like to continue to practice law in Sydney, in Australia, or you like to practice law back in your home country, Sri Lanka, or you wanted to practice law in any country in the Commonwealth, because it will be an easy conversion process. I see my student practicing in London. I see my student practicing in Hong Kong. I see my student practicing in Singapore, India, Sri Lanka. So this is like a passport. You bring it to wherever you want it, and you do your career there. I will stop here, and I will hand over to Vivek. Thank you again, Vivek, for correcting me. And Vivek is going to share with you a more interesting and relevant content.
No, thank you, Grace. Your content was very insightful, and I hope students will get some information about law, because not many students are aware what career opportunities are there for law graduates, because as you know, a lot of people are interested in courses like business and engineering and IT, but law, as you said, it is a really good high profile career which needs a lot of investment of time and effort and everything. No, thank you. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, and good afternoon and greetings from Sydney. So what I'll do is I shall go through, so can I share my screen? Is someone, okay, I can share my screen first. So today I'm going to, can someone just put their hands up if they can see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I will give you some of the scholarships which are available at UTS. And as you know, we have a range of scholarships which are available at UTS. They are grants as well as merit-based academic scholarships. Yeah. First, I'll start with the undergraduate scholarships which are available. Now, the undergraduate scholarships, we have a range from 100% scholarships to 25% scholarships to 20% scholarships. Firstly, we have the Vice Chancellor's International Undergraduate Scholarship. It's a 100% scholarship, but students will have to apply for this scholarship. And it's highly competitive. It's one scholarship offered globally. So if you're interested, and the students will have to have an offer from UTS, and the applications have opened on the 13th of March. And if you have an offer with UTS, I encourage you, and if you think you have that high marks and also your personal statement, which is required for this scholarship, it actually closes on the 16th of April. So I encourage you, if you're interested in this scholarship, please apply for that. And the other scholarship we have for international scholarship, international students, sorry, undergraduates, international students, is the International Baccalaureate Scholarship. Now, this is only open to students who have IB diploma. So it's also a very good value. It's 50%. So students who have completed their IB diploma no longer than 1 year prior to commencing at UTS, they are eligible to apply. But again, this is not automatic. Students will have to apply. So currently, the scholarships are open, so they will close on the 30th of April. And again, if you have an IB diploma, you can, and you have an offer with UTS, you can apply. Or if you haven't, submit an application. I encourage you to please submit your application as soon as possible, and if you want to apply for this scholarship. The other undergraduate scholarships we have is the Undergraduate Academic Excellence Scholarship, International Scholarship. This is valued at 25%. It is a merit-based scholarship. So basically for this, you must have completed year 12 in Sri Lanka with a SAT, because direct national high school in Sri Lanka is not comparable to year 12 in Australia. But if you have taken a SAT, American SAT test, we accept that. But in conjunction to that, in addition to that, we also accept the GCE A levels, which a lot of students in Sri Lanka do, or the IB. So then you can apply for this. You don't need to submit a separate application for that. We will automatically assess you for this scholarship. Then we have undergraduate tuition fee scholarship. And if you have, as I said, similar qualification, and if you don't meet the required marks for this scholarship, then you get 20% scholarship. So it's non-merit, non-academic merit based. If you meet our entry requirements, and if you don't have the required marks for the undergraduate academic excellence scholarship, you will be eligible for 20%. In some more scholarship, so we also have UTS College to UTS Pathway Scholarship. So if you actually start a diploma program at UTS College, and then this one you have to apply your and it's valued at 50%. So you have to complete the UTS College diploma with an overall average of 6 out of 7, and you must commence your course in the next available intake. As I said, this application is open. The closing date for that one is June 30th. Then in addition to that, so if you have already started a diploma, and this one is the UTS 35 anniversary diploma to degree scholarship, it's valued at 20%. It's non-academic merit based. So by the virtue of just completing your diploma at college, you're automatically granted 20% scholarship towards the UTS degree. And in some students who are doing foundation, then again, this one you have to apply, so they can be eligible for 25% scholarship. And the requirement for this is students must achieve a GPA of 8.5 out of 10 to be eligible to apply for this scholarship. Now, we also have, UTS College runs diploma program in Sri Lanka. So if you're doing that, we will automatically consider you for this. If you have the required GPA, you'll be eligible for 25% scholarship. And in addition to that, we also have the Enroll Nurse International Scholarship. So, and that's also valued at 25%. So if students are interested in nursing, and if they've completed a EQF diploma of nursing qualification in Australia, they can be automatically assessed for this scholarship too. So I think I've already talked about the nursing one. So now I'll talk to you about some postgraduate scholarships. Similarly, like the undergraduate one, we also have 100% full tuition fee scholarship. Then similarly, like what we had for undergraduate one, this is for postgraduate one. Again, this is not automatic. Students will have to apply for it. And the closing date again is the 16th of April. Then the most popular among students is the postgraduate academic scholarship for international students. So it is valued at both 25% and 35%. Now you may ask, what do you mean by 25 and 35%? It depends on your average or GPA in your undergraduate degree. If it's very high, then you can be eligible for 35%. And if it's and otherwise, you'll be eligible for 25%. And again, there's a cutoff. Definitely, there's a cutoff. But for 35%, there's a higher cutoff. So the requirement is, you must have completed a bachelor degree offshore, not in Australia. But then we also have a postgraduate international scholarship. This is for all faculties except design, architecture, and building, and also graduate school of health. So if you apply, if you meet the entry requirements, you will be automatically granted 20% scholarship. Again, this is for students who must commence a master degree at UTS. And in these, again, they are automatically assessed. You don't have to apply. Then we have onshore postgraduate international scholarship. These are again valued at 25%. Students who have completed an Australian degree or a higher education. And then we also have a faculty-based scholarship. For example, it's a postgraduate business scholarship. It's valued at 25%. If you meet the entry requirements of the course, you're automatically granted 20% scholarship. And as long as you have completed an Australian degree and you are enrolling in a master by coursework at UTS Business School. In addition to that, we also have UTS Alumni Advantage Program. This is so supposing if you have completed one degree at UTS, you are eligible for 10% tuition fee saving. And we already apply when we issue you an offer. Now, if you need more information about scholarships, you can go to our page, or you can actually, there's a QR code. You can get more information from there. You have the Facebook link and Instagram and other social media links. Now, I just wanted to give you a comparison, what it means. So if we look at, undergraduate academic excellence international scholarship, which is valued at 25%. So just to give you an example for Bachelor of Business. Now, if the scholarship is not applied, just the tuition fee costs you 42,800 per year. But you are, and if you're eligible for this scholarship, so basically there's a saving of over $10,000 per year. So if you look at for the whole course, your saving is over 32,000 for the whole course. Similarly, if you look at the law, if you don't get a scholarship, you pay for over $48,000, but you save over $12,000 per year. And so the total saving for the whole course is 48,000, which is a substantial value. So similarly, I've given you some examples of other faculties, but you can go through, through our brochures, you can get an estimate how much saving you are eligible, you will get if you are eligible for a scholarship. And this is similarly, but this is for the postgraduate excellence scholarship, as I said. So again, for example, MBA is quite a popular program. So if you don't get a scholarship, your tuition fee costs around over $45,000 per year. But if you get 25%, you save over 11,000 per year. That's quite a substantial amount. So over the 2 year, because it's a 2-year program, you save over $22,000 for the program. Similarly, if you look at Master of Law will cost you like 50,000 per year, but you save, if you are eligible for the scholarship, you save over 12,500. You save 12,500 per year. And again, just to give you a comparison, I've given you for different faculties some different courses, so you can get an idea how much the saving is. And just to wrap up, just to give you, if you interested in applying, so how our application and assessment process works. So if you're applying from Sri Lanka, you can nominate an agent. So they will send us your application and all the documentation. And once we receive that, we will assess your application and provide you an outcome. An outcome could be conditional offer, full offer, and if you don't meet the requirements, you'll get an unsuccessful letter. And then once you get an offer, it will have all the details how to accept. So you have to, if you are interested in accepting, then you have to actually submit your completed acceptance form and then evidence of your payment. And then once we receive that, and then you may be required to do the GTE-GS interview may be required to do. That's in requirement by the immigration. And once we get that, once that we if you pass all those things, then what we do is we issue you a confirmation of enrollment. This is the document you need to apply for a student visa. And once we send you this, and in addition to that, we also send you the pre-departure information you need, and also information about the enrollment and also about the orientation. So this is the application process in a nutshell, but there are some key dates for spring. So applications closing date is 30th of April. So if you're interested in applying to UTS law or other courses, please submit your application by this date. And these are some useful links how to accept the offer online, and calendar days gives you information about the various important key dates, and orientation period. And our next intake is actually in July. So at UTS, the two main sessions is in February and the other one is in July. So the next coming session is in July, which starts on the 7th of July. But the orientation actually starts a week earlier. It's from the 31st July to the 4th of August. And this information gives you information about how to submit additional documents. You can submit via reps or by online. So this is the end of my presentation. I hope you found the information which Associate Professor Grace Lee has given you from law, some useful information, insights into the law courses and about the scholarships which I have provided, and some brief introduction how to apply. But if you have any further questions, you can ask us now, or you can always, if you think of any other questions later on, you can contact international@uts.edu and .au, and we'll be happy to assist you with any queries you may have. So I may pass over to Indy. Indy, are there any questions?
Yeah, so we are waiting. We'll wait for like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes, and if we don't get any questions, we can wrap up.
No worries. So Indy, may I ask you, these questions are coming by in a chat box, or they'll be live questions?
They will be live questions.
Good. I would love to see some of the students, some of the faces, who've been attending us our webinar. It'll be nice to see some students, prospective students.
I'm sorry, it's actually in the chat box. So
Okay, it's in the chat
when
box.
we get the, the questions and all, I can ask from you. So you
Yeah.
can ask.
No worries, that's fine. As I said, if you can't think of anything at the moment, which I can understand, but if you think of any other question, if you have any questions for, Associate Professor Grace Lee, and we have the link, which I have given it to you. and she'll be more than happy to answer anything about law. And if you need anything about any other courses, you can send an email to us at international@uts.edu.au.
I probably add another just one sentence on. Again, UTS, our university, Vivek, myself, I'm sure colleagues at IDP, we are all fully understand this is a very important decision for you to study overseas. It is super important for you to decide on what discipline you want to study, which university you want to study with, and even which city, which country. You have multiple options. Many of you would have, more than one options. Just, I would highly recommend you to do your study. There is no answer. There is no one size fits all answer for everyone. Some students like to do this, other students like the other city, just do your study. And the best way to do your study is to check the publicly available information, such as the graduate outcome survey, such as university rankings, scholarship informations, and so forth. But, whatever information you would need from UTS, Vivek and myself will be here to help you. And good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems that there are no questions at the moment, but then again, like if they have any questions, that they can contact this, like they can write to this email address. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, Vivek and Grace. So we'll see you soon.
Thank you. And I thank you all the participants who've participated. I want to thank on behalf of Associate Professor Grace Lee as well. And I wanted to thank Grace Lee as well for her time as well. Thank you. And thank you IDP as well for giving us an opportunity to attend this.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.